At this time, I'd like to call the South Union Township regular monthly meeting for February to order. Would we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do the roll call, Mr. Schiffauer.
Here.
Mr. Scott.
Here.
Mr. Vernon here present. This time, I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn so we can go into the public hearing that we have scheduled.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we adjourn the regular township meeting and go into the advertised hearing for the rezoning request.
Do we have a second on that?
I'll second.
We have a motion by Mr. Schiffauer and a second by Mr. Scott to adjourn to go into a public meeting. We'll come back into our regular meeting. On the roll call, Mr. Schiffauer.
Yes.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Mr. Vernon, yes. So at this time, we are adjourned to conduct our 4 o'clock public meeting. The public hearing is regarding the rezoning of Menards, Inc. property located on Matthew Drive Extension area. We're asking to change it from M1 to B1, which is part of the request is that Menards, Inc. is a corporation with its principal office located at 501 Menards Drive, Wisconsin, and they request a petition for the township rezoning tract of land located in South Union Township, mostly on Matthew Drive Extension, a total of 76.81 acres, and there's 400 feet of road frontage on William Smith in Transit Drive. Is Menards prepared to present their motion to us?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody going to be testifying for Menards besides the attorney? Okay. You'll be okay. Anybody going? Then we'll give anybody else a chance to give her defense against it if there's anybody here. Okay. At this time, you want to take the stand first or call your witness first?
Certainly.
Can you give us your name and address for the record where we keep track of this?
Certainly, Supervisors. My name is Tom O'Neill. I'm with Menard Incorporated. Address is 5101 Menard Drive, Eau Claire, Wisconsin, 54703. I'm here on behalf of Menards. I work for Menards. I work on real estate acquisitions for the company. We've been expanding into eastern Ohio. We've been expanding into West Virginia, and as a company, we have a slow, methodical growth eastward, and we'd be appreciative of South Union Township's assistance in allowing us to break into the area here. We're under contract with the County Development Authority to purchase a larger tract of property. It has a mixture of zoning, so we'd like to make it consistent so we can put together a retail commercial development on the overall property. Be happy to answer any questions that the supervisors have.
Yeah, I have a question, Tom, and it actually goes beyond a little bit the nature of the application to change or rezoning. Could you explain to our audience and the press here today a little bit more detail what you intend to do there, especially with the development end?
Certainly. Menards is a retail home improvement company based out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We're a regional company. We're a home improvement building materials supply store. We build a store of about 200,000 square feet. We consider our primary competitors to be a Lowe's, to be a Home Depot. We would propose to build a Menards store at the development. The development is larger than what we need from a Menards store perspective, but we have the capabilities to develop the remainder of the property as well. We need to do a lot of cuts, a lot of fills in order to level the property sufficient for our use to fill a large ravine that would be opposite the intersection of Walmart and Matthews Drive. So the proposal would be to not only build enough acreage on a flat level plane for the Menards store, but to have several tiers of development which would allow for a set of elevations on par with Matthews Drive at the Walmart intersection, and then a subsequent tier rising into the property for some other retail development opportunities before you get to a Menards store at the rear of the Fayette County Redevelopment Authority property. So it's a combination Menards store as well as development of another 20-plus developable acres of property for retail and commercial purposes.
Yeah, I think this is, when I first become aware of your intentions here with Redevelopment Authority, I was pleasantly surprised to see that your plans to go beyond just building your main store for Menards. In this development, as you said, you have 20 out parcels or somewhere in that neighborhood?
At least 20 acres worth of developable
Okay.
out parcels, yes.
But there will be a number of out parcels, and I see some, from some of your other sites, other locations, that you've developed out parcels, which is a very plus thing for our township that will, in essence, almost guarantee we're going to have additional development in our township because of Menard's decisions to locate here in South Union Township.
Yes, and thank you. I think one of the challenges of the site, and it has challenges, it is topographically challenged, like we're discovering with a lot of things in western Pennsylvania that we're looking at. But you really need to come in with an overall plan because the site requires moving dirt from the rearage into the frontage in order to fill the large ravine. So it needs to be a master plan project in order to borrow some of the material from the rear in order to fill that hole and allow for the entirety to be developed with a master concept in mind.
Anything else, Mr. Scott, anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. We have
Thank
someone
you.
else on behalf of Menard.
Well, I guess I'm just here to answer questions if you have anything.
Do you have any questions? Mr. Stan, for the record, you're with Millen Engineering.
Correct.
Do you have any questions you want to ask Millen Engineering at this time?
I do not.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anybody else want to testify for the Menards in favor of it at this time?
Yeah, I think I do have one more question. I mean, just to let the public know, I know I'm constantly bombarded by questions with this planned development here. Do you have some kind of timeline when you'd like to get started with the excavation, maybe as to when the actual work on the new store might be started and a possible completion and opening date?
Certainly, our plan is to get through the approval processes here into the spring and summer of 2020. If we can do some excavation yet this year, that would be preferable. If not, then it would have to turn over into 2021 to do so. There's a lot of earth moving that needs to occur as part of this project. I think our ultimate goal would be to build a store that would open. We're a garden center merchant. We're a building materials time of season merchant. So we're not trying to open for Christmas time. We're trying to open for the spring and summertime. So realistically, at this point, we will not be open until early 2022 at this point.
Okay, well, we're just glad to see you've come here to South Union Township. It's very important to us.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you. Is there anybody else on behalf wants in favor? Is anybody here against it presenting? No, nothing else? Okay, at this time then, there's no other testimony on either side. I'd like to entertain a motion to either approve or disapprove Menard's petition to grant the approval. Do you have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion. The South Union Township Board of Supervisors approve the petition submitted for rezoning change from Menards located on Matthew Drive, approximately 76.81 acres. And the applicant, as we mentioned, Menards, and the zoning purpose will be changed from M1 zoning, which it is zoned at this time. The property at this time is vacant, and it will be changed from a B1 commercial development status with our motion.
We have a second on Mr. Schiffbar's motion.
I'll second Mr. Schiffbar's motion.
Second by Mr. Scott. Any questions on the motion? Okay, we'll have roll call. Mr. Schiffbar?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Vernon, yes. Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Glad to have you with us. We'll send a copy out to your council.
I appreciate that.
Our council. Okay? Okay, at this time, I need a motion to go back into our regular monthly meeting for the Board of Supervisors. Do you have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 4:10 and return to our regular township meeting.
Reopen, okay. Do you have a second on that?
I'll second Mr. Scott's motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Roll call, Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mr. Vernon, yes. Motion carries. We're back into our regular meeting at this time. We're going to go on to item number 5, Roadmaster's Report. I'll handle that this time. For the month of January is the following Roadmaster's Report. We were very lucky. We only went out twice with just part-time. A couple of our trucks in the month of January for snow removal. We all compost 10 days. We picked up loose curb that were knocked out earlier by our plow trucks, and we will promise to replace it in the spring once they open the plant for the hot mix. Our men worked on our plow trucks, and we cleaned the sheepskin trail daily, which was used a lot the month of January. We picked up litter throughout the township, and we started a project up on the top of Rubel Drive, putting a new inlet in at the top. We'll ask Mr. Scott to elaborate a little bit for the public at this time, if you would, sir.
Yeah, we've talked about this the past year. We're doing separate phases on the Rubel Drive, Wiggins Lane project. Phase 1 is not, this isn't where we wanted to start, but it's really the only money that we had available. We transferred some LSA money that we had for a trail that did not go through, and we were able to transfer that LSA money to use. It was $30,000. We were able to transfer that to do the first phase of the project. We do have the other 2 phases that we want to do, which is crossing Rubel Drive down in the bottom, and then also the crossing on Wiggins Lane. But those 2 projects are definitely a lot more expensive, and we do have grants turned in for those projects, but we won't know anything probably until July on those projects. We were able to get the LSA money from this previous year, but it's more or less just going to be a match, we're hoping, for one of the grants that we applied for. So at this time, we did get the catch basin in. We have Mr. Glenn Wolf here from Eads Group. He's worked with me on that project. We were able to enlarge the pipe size and the catch basin, hoping that now we can keep the water coming from the rear of the homes on Egg Lane in the trench that it was intended to stay in, instead of overflowing the road and going through people's backyards. So we should have that complete, except for the paving. We should have it complete by the end of next week.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I think if anybody's familiar with that area, where we're doing work right now, it's just a small portion of the overall project, but you can see, as I said, if you're familiar with what was there before, the improvements that the township is installing right now is quite substantial, and I think it gives you a good indication that we have taken our time working with our engineers and applying for grant monies. When you do things today, projects like this, the costs are so exorbitant, and this is just the beginning of a pretty big project. It will take some time to complete, and but it will certainly put that area in good standing for the coming future. We know it's going to continue to rain, and hopefully with these improvements we will be prepared to handle whatever comes.
And the only other thing I wanted to add, we were able to do the project in-house, which I believe, Glenn, you had an estimate, our initial estimate was around $70,000 for that project.
It was significant.
And we should be under the $30,000 budget by doing it in-house with our township guys. So,
Yeah, and I want to give Jason a lot of credit for this. He does have a good, solid background experience of working with projects like this, and I mean, he's been up every day since we started this phase, and it's coming along quite nicely, and it's being done very professionally.
Just need more money, that's the only setback.
We're working on that.
Yeah, but we are. Thank you.
Okay.
I know, I go up here, and the only thing I've accomplished is falling down in the mud, but
Jason knows what he was doing, believe me. He was just him and his family before he even come on the board with us. We're lucky to have him, has that ability to handle stuff like this for us. Again, Mr. Scott, we thank you very kindly for what you've been doing extra for us. Okay, that concludes my roadmaster report. Anything else we want to add for the roadmaster report? Okay, let's go over to the sewage department again. That's Mr. Scott's. Okay, Mayor.
The month of January, the pump stations are all running well. There were no problems to report. We're in the process of monitoring the flow that enters Route 21 pump station. We do have some overages there that just the water comes up too fast. So we did have a camera. We had some flow monitors put in and some rain gauges. So we're trying to figure that out. We should have an answer for that by the end of March. So hopefully we find something significant that we can correct. We also started the Redstone Brownfield Road grant project. We got a grant, I think it was in 2018. We received $337,000, I believe it was. I might be off on the number. But we bid that out. We opened those in November, maybe?
Yes.
And we thought they were gonna wait until March to start, but they called and said they wanted to start in January. So they started, I think, the 15th of January. They did get across the creek. The first creek crossing is done. It hasn't been too much of an impact because it's right here in our township yard, so it hasn't impacted too many people. But the project seems to be going well, and we're hoping to be complete by March. If you have anything to add with that.
No, like Mr. Scott said, the project is going very smooth to date. There was a potential impact that I believe we're going to be able to get around a property owner's pool, but the contractor is diligently working through. The weather's cooperating, so we should be completed well in advance of the June deadline for the grant. So.
Thank you. Also, I'm not done yet. I'm just getting started.
You go ahead. I know. Like I said, I didn't think so.
The sewage department also purchased a jetter vac truck. Maxine, our secretary, was able to find one on municipal bid. We looked at these trucks, I think, in 2017 and 18, and they were upwards of $400,000. We were able to obtain one, I believe it was $23,000, and we had to do some work to it. We did most of the work in-house with our mechanic in the garage here. We have everything up and running, and I believe we're below like $35,000 in buying this truck. What this will be able to do is our call-out time on previous jobs could have been anywhere between 8 and 24 hours before we could get somebody here if we had something backed up. Now we have the truck on staff. I believe it's gonna pay for itself in no time at all. We were already using it. It's hard to use in the winter because of the freezing, but with the days that we've been having, we were already had it out a few days and cleaned some lines that, you know, generally we wouldn't be doing in the middle of winter. So I believe it's definitely going to be helpful. Also, the sewage line on Route 40 is some concern to us, so we're in the process of looking for grant money. It services both North and South Union on Route 40, and it's about at its limit. And with all the development that's going to be coming in to North Union side behind Texas Roadhouse, we're just looking in the future to try to find grant money and upgrade that line. I believe it was put in between 1970 and 1973, so it definitely needs upgraded. We did raise we sent postcards out to all the residents. We raised the sewage bill from $20 to $25 with a $1 recycling fee. Non-residential is $37 for a minimum of 5,000 gallons and $7.40 for each additional. This is the first increase we've had since 2011. We did some checking, and the closest one I could find to us is North Union. They're $28 a month, but they're in the process of raising theirs. Initially, they said to 33, but now they're talking it might be more like 36. So we're still, I know some of the neighboring townships, Manellan Township, someone came in the other day and said they pay almost $40 a month for sewage.
It's even over 40.
Is it over 40? So I mean, we're still cheapest, and the money that the reason we raised it is to try to raise more money for these storm and sanitary sewer problems we have. So hopefully we can build up a surplus, and if the grant money doesn't come through and we can continue to do these jobs in-house, we can, you know, make our more bang for the buck, I guess you would say. But so we're in the process. We're still going to offer if you pay your sewage bill yearly, we're still going to offer the 1 month discount. This year with your 11 months and your 12-month recycling fund, it will be $287 for the entire year for sewage. So if you have any questions, you can call down to the office at 724-438-5480. I believe that concludes my report.
I'd just like to add one other thing to the rates that we charge. Some years back, we did a study through here at the township, contacting many municipalities throughout the state of Pennsylvania. And at that time, we had one of the lowest sewage, residential sewage billing in the state of Pennsylvania. And just a little spot check of that over the last year or so, even with our increase here, we're still ranked one of the lowest in the state of Pennsylvania.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, we're going then. Anything else you want to add on the sewage? Okay, thank you. We're going to go on to number 7, the code enforcement officer's report. I'll handle that for the supervisors. Okay, for the month of January, I always announce we have 1 full-time officer and 1 part-time officer during the day, Monday through Fridays from 7 to 3:30. Then we have 2 part-time officers that works in the evenings and on weekends. So for the month of January, we have 2 letters sent out for property repairs. We had 1 junk vehicle. We had 4 dog complaints. 3 we complied, and 1 we had to have cited by Hoffman's Kennels. We have 2 burning complaints. Again, you can only burn on Saturday from 8 to 5. It must be a controlled blaze, which means someone has to be watching it. Then we have high grass and weeds. We had none so far. We've been lucky since this winter. Quad complaints, we had 1 official quad complaint. I'm sure there's more in the township that they don't call us. We had 15 delinquent garbage letters went out. We had 1 parking complaint. We had a total of 16 citations issued by our township code enforcement officers. Our full-time officer and part-time traveled 1,740 miles throughout the township, and our part-time and evening officers traveled 1,123 miles throughout the township, for a total of 2,863 miles throughout the township. Also, they issued 21 tickets for a handicap and 19 for the fire lane. That would conclude my report. Anybody else have anything else they want to add to the report? Mr. Shepard?
Nothing further.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Let's go on to number 8, motion to approve minutes of our previous meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Scott. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Second by Mr. Shepard. Okay, any questions on the motion? We'll call Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Mr. Shepard.
Yes.
Mr. Vernon, yes, motion carries. Let's go on to number 10. Motion to hire a secretary for the Board of Supervisors. We have our secretaries retire in November. We had our sewage secretaries handle it. And,
Number 9.
I'm sorry, I missed number 9. So we'll go back, let's do 10, we'll go back to number 9 now, I'm sorry. And this time we decided we need to hire another secretary. Do we have any comments or motions at this time?
I'll make a motion that we hire Taylor Large. Taylor has served as she worked for us in the summer for, I believe, 4 summers that I was here. She's recently graduated with a CPA degree. She's done an internship. And basically, she would be doing all our payroll, taxes, and stuff like that. She's more than qualified, and she did a great job when she was here.
And she has a nice personality. I think she'll fit in well here at the township, dealing with the public.
On that motion, we should maybe also make her a zoning officer too, so she can handle zoning citations, and also a part-time code officer on the report, on the motion. Do we have a motion to hire Taylor Large at this time?
I made the motion.
Okay. And we'll add that, we'll add on to it, zoning officer and also a part-time code officer as part of her duties. We have a second on the motion?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Scott and second by Mr. Shepard. Any questions on the motion? Roll call. Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Shepard?
Yes.
And Mr. Vernon, yes. Motion carried. Now let's go back to number 9 that I passed on. Motion to ratify Simon John as solicitor for the zoning hearing board, per request of the zoning hearing board. The last board meeting, they voted to hire Simon John as their solicitor. We have to set the salary. Salary last year was $195 an hour. Do we have I'd like to make a motion to approve the same salary as last year, $195 an hour. Do we have a second on that?
You made the initial motion?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll second your motion.
Motion, and Vernon, second by Mr. Shepard. Questions on the motion? Mr. Vernon votes yes. Mr. Schipper.
Yes.
And Mr. Scott.
Pass.
Okay, does the pass wish to change his motion? His motion carries 2-0-0-1, I'm sorry. Number 11, Mr. Schaefer here?
No,
I didn't see it.
We'll let the table listen until next meeting.
Yeah.
I know he wanted to give it a little
Yeah, I thought he was
presentation.
coming, but,
He
Yeah.
was here regarding the Eagle Scout project, he requested to be on the agenda.
yeah,
Want to make a motion to table that to next meeting?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Motion, Mr. Scott, and second by Mr. Schipper. Roll call, Mr. Scott.
Yes.
And Mr. Schipper.
Yes.
And Mr. Vernon, yes, motion carries. Okay, comments from the public. Do we have any comments from the public at this time? None? Okay, let's go on to number 13. Mr. Financial Statement, Mr. Treasurer.
Mr. Chairman, from the general fund checking, $34,991.70. The general fund investment account, $81,404.82. State fund, $310,001.91. Hydrant fund, $2,276.39. The athletic fund, $33,257.22. Payroll fund, $8,755.91. The tails on the trail fund, $5,566.48. And the North Union South Union Intergovernmental Board Fund, $12,349.31. The recycling fund, $74,961.68 for a grand total of the road department, $563,565.43. From the sewage fund, we have a total of $298,455.17. And from the,
That was our total fund.
that's the total. Yes, the
The
total.
sewage fund is,
Yeah, the sewage fund is $2,334,889.74.
okay,
And let's see, from the state fund, $18,821.96. The North Union, South Union Intergovernmental Board Fund, $11,204.
Oh, that's the bill.
that's our bills.
You're good.
Oh, that's,
You're
I'm
just right
sorry.
there, right there.
Excuse me.
The grand total was that 2
I'm trying to
million.
get used to the transition here.
And the type is different too.
Okay.
The $2,898,455.17. You announced that. Okay, good job. Any comments on that?
Nope.
Okay, we go on to the next. Your 14 is the motion to pay all current bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the current bills. From the state fund, $18,821.96. The North Union, South Union Intergovernmental Board Fund, $11,204. Tails on the trails fund, we have nothing. Sewage fund, we have $128,286.70. The recycling fund, $2,636. The hydrant fund, $1,110.01. The athletic fund, $8,404.78. And from the general fund, $191,503.04. That's my motion to pay the current bills.
Okay, I'll second Mr. Scott's motion. Any questions on the motion in a second? Okay, roll call, Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Mr. Vernon, yes, Mr. Schiffer.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Go on number 15, Mr. Over from K2. Anything to announce to the board?
The only announcement I have is that the vacant space next to Harbor Freight, there was a permit issued this month for a new retail tenant called the Boot Barn going into that space. So,
What does the Boots Barn sell beside the Boots?
never heard of it until we got the application. So
I know my wife was excited about it. I don't know what it is either, but she was excited about it.
Tom, you ever heard that before? In your,
I have
they sell boots?
Western wear,
Okay.
apparel, tack.
Thank you for your comment.
That's probably why. It's something to do with horses.
Yeah, up your line.
Other than that, I have no
Okay. Number 16, our solicitor, Mr. Davis is pinching for his father, James Davis. Mr. Jeremy Davis,
I have nothing to report. Thank you.
if there's nothing else, then item number 17, Mr. Scott, he'd like to entertain this motion, gives us
My
a
favorite
time.
motion. I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 4:29.
Motion by Mr. Scott to adjourn, do we have a second on that?
I'll second motion.
Second by Mr. Schiffmeyer. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, Mr. Scott.
Yes.
And Mr. Schiffmeyer.
Yes.
And Mr. Vernon votes yes. This meeting is now adjourned. I didn't say quarter there. You caught myself.
Are we gonna vote on the impeachment thing too?